Alright, what up? We are live now. Oh wow. Which preview? You pulled up on my Twitch. Now we're good. My goal here is more or less just to clean up a lot of these lines. I made this drawing originally at a much lower resolution, and I realized, wow, I can't zoom in on this thing without it looking bad. So my goal here is just to kind of go over all these lines, make it look a lot nicer. That way you can actually zoom in on this thing and still have it looking alright. Otherwise, you zoom in on it, it looks like garbage. I don't want to necessarily be able to see all the individual pixels that easily. I'd also need to adjust the input on my PNG tuber. Alright, that's better. Figuring a lot of stuff out. If any volumes are too high, too low, music's too quiet, anything like that, let me know, I'll fix it. Ooh, I'm realizing I'm not great at... Realizing now that I'm not great at line art, but hey, that's what practice is for. I'll get there eventually. Also do want to thank the two people who followed me before I even went live. Y'all put a lot of faith in me, just based off of a couple of social media posts and off of posting my model. So thank you to Nora Smith 1 for the follow, and Sprockets vs. Cogs for the follow. I really appreciate it. Appreciate you putting a little blind faith in me. give me that follow before I even hit the live button. Anyway, drawing tablets and disconnect on me. Good. My ear left, have right ear in there. Let me get rid of that. That should not... I had previously worked on separating a lot of this out for rigging, but then realized that I wasn't happy with the resolution. So I put a lot of that process on hold. Decided to go as a PNG tuber for now. Figure it's better just to get started and start streaming. Then go back and, you know, make this part of the process. Figured this might be interesting to some people. I want to see someone who has no experience with making a VTuber try to make one. And there might be people that come into the stream like, oh, I've made a bunch of VTubers. I know exactly what I'm doing. Feel free to offer any tips, or just laugh at my incompetency, or chill either way. As long as you're here and you're having fun, we're chilling. That's the only main goal, is just for people to watch me and have a good time. Is that a good ear? Don't know. Good enough for me. Differentiating between the old version of the layer and the new version by just making some of it capitalized, or some of it with a space, some of it with not. Layers won't have spaces in the names. I'll get rid of all the old ones or group them into their own folder at some point. Hey, morning, Filibuster Fox. What's poppin'? Wasn't sure if you'd be up this early or not, but hey, welcome. Hope your Pathfinder went well. Or I hope it went horribly and there was a TPK. That would also be funny. Oh, that's a menu I've not popped up before. In bed still, I'll take it. Doesn't take much effort to tune into a Twitch stream. Congrats on being my first chatter. Appreciate it, boss man. Gonna witness a man fumble with lines for a while. Long goddamn opacity layer. Yeah, I'm also really that's like not even visible on my Photoshop screen because of white chat box. Maybe visible. Bring that size up a bit. Alright, that should be better. Yeah, I don't even know if these are proper ear details. I just kind of draw the shape and throw some lines in there and hope it's good enough. I think it's on the side of the head. People pretty much know what's going on. Or maybe my clown will just be known for having bad ears. Don't know why that was on 95% opacity. Could not have been. Whatever. Had a friend design this model for me, and I'm now realizing these eyes are kind of reminiscent of like Eye of Anubis type stuff. I might be referencing the wrong Egyptian god, but y'all should know what I'm referring to. It looks cool. I'm a professional clown. I've got historical references. Oh, I'm remembering I need this to be symmetrical for both eyes. Yeah, perfect. Don't know why that doesn't line up with the other side. I might not have made it symmetrical when I scaled up the model, but that's fine. This will all get head symmetrical. Maybe It's off center. Heck. I feel like I always forget about that aspect sometimes. Is what needs to be symmetrical, what's not. When I get into the rigging process, I've heard you need at least a lot of your main elements to be symmetrical and like centered. Otherwise, it'll make things a lot more difficult down the line. Also means I only have to draw half the head rather than the full head. That. Back on here. People might be too big later on, but we'll find out. I'm not sure if these will have to be on their own layer later on for the rigging process, but for now, I'm putting them on their own layer. I can always merge it later if I need to. Those nose lines might be a little too chonky. Yeah, that's good enough. Excuse me. Panned entirely off my canvas. That's the updated. It's already looking crisper. Not the gene editing software. Crisper as an adjective. Here's what's going to be the hard part, though. I might have to readjust some of those headlines later on, but that's fine. A lot of this I had also gotten partitioned out. the sake of rigging, but I have to like kind of re-separate it. Oh. For now, we're just gonna go in and get new lines in here without the symmetry. That is not needed. Yeah, I could just do like half the head and not even worry about the rest of it. We take off that one as well. Could go with the like the full bald or almost full bald look. Head shaved. Maybe even take out some of these extra ones as well. So it's just kind of like a sad mohawk. Ran out of hair gel, so it's kind of just flopping over a little bit. Sorry. Also realizing my naming conventions for these hair layers, I thought it would make it clear what's what. It does not. I don't really know if there's a better way to name these hair layers. We'll just kind of leave it. That'll just be a problem for me to figure out when I try to do the rigging. What's that one big? Oh. That's the head cutting through. I was like, what's this giant purple line cutting through what I'm drawing? But it's just a skill issue. Some of that looks wonky. I gotta figure out why some of that looks weird. I think part of it's that in doing this tracing, I run the risk of it not looking like hair. Part of it's also likely because I'm drawing it piece by piece and not actually drawing the full head of hair as is. I'm not gonna think about it too much. Oh yeah, oh. I don't like that. I think if I get rid of that one, it looks fine. But yeah, I don't like that. Also contemplating if I just ignore my separation for now and just trace the whole head of hair. My ears. Did I get rid of my ears? I also realize these ears are not going to be symmetrical. I gotta redo those anyways. Oh. That. What layer is that line on? Huh. Thanks for the follow. Took you long enough. Smile. Those follow pop-ups also very hard to see on this white background. Hold on, let me... Yeah, that's fair, that's fair. Let me actually just, like, for the sake of stream... some gray. No, that still looks awful. I'm gonna have to add some color to the chat somehow. Am I even gonna fix that now? That's a later issue. I'll figure out my chat color later on. Oh yeah, no, I put that as an extension. Was my Dota match history. I'm gonna be streaming every once in a while. Might as well link my Dota there so people can stalk my match history. I thought it was neat. I figured, why not? I'll slap it on. Little extra interactivity. Judge my item builds, my win rates. I'm just gonna retrace the whole hair. Reportion it later. don't know why my model was just sitting there with his mouth open. Don't know why I thought he was talking. I wasn't. Windows are messed up. There we go. Better. Oh, hair not symmetrical, please. I think I'd even put that Dota match history thing in when I was on a college team and thought about like streaming some of it. Or when I tried casting some of our in-house matches, I was like, oh, maybe I'll be a Dota streamer. I just decided to leave it. Yeah, that's fair. Like, I tried the Dota casting like once, and it was just for like an in-house that me and some friends coordinated with another team from a different school. And it was very low stakes, because it was basically, we made up rules with objectives that the teams would have to complete during the game. Like build 5 meteor hammers and stuff like that, or play tic-tac-toe. And so like, it was no pressure to cast any of it well. It was kind of just having fun with it. And I casted a Valorant match one time for a friend's team. And that was when I didn't even... I say when, as if I know more about Valorant now. I still don't. But I was trying to learn it and get good at it. And my friend was like, hey, do you want to cast? I have this like organization I'm a part of. If you want to cast. I was like, yeah, sure. Casted one set of matches and never did again. Was just because I was way too busy with school. But I mean, it's fun. But it can also be a lot. I don't know if I'm built for it. I could only imagine the amount of pressure casting gets at some of the really big tournaments. Like the Dota TI casters, ooh, I can't imagine what they're going through. Yeah, 200 people's already a lot. I can't imagine doing it in front of 2,000, 200,000, 2 million. Like, even the sports commentators have got to be under a lot of pressure. Like casting the Super Bowl? I don't know, maybe things are different when you're a high-functioning adult. Maybe things are less stressful when you have lots of money from casting. Yeah, of course, boss. Rise and grind morning coffee. I'll have to redo some of these hairlines later. I feel like I'm running the risk of a lot of these looking weirdly disconnected by just tracing over my old lines rather than redrawing it from scratch. But we ball. We'll see what happens. Always fix it later. My goal now is mostly just to get this thing higher res. Also realizing I might need to adjust my desk setup. My drawing tablet's like a quarter off of the front of my desk. If I draw too low to the bottom of the screen, I run the risk of flipping this entire thing off my desk onto my lap. But I also don't know if I can push my monitor further back or not. Nor do I really care to fix that right now. I'll kind of just leave it as is for now. Fix it off stream or eventually. Maybe when I rebuild my PC finally. Well, not rebuild, I'm just looking to get a new graphics card. Power supply, that's the word. Got a new CPU cooler already I've been meaning to put in. As well as a new case, but I feel like the moment you swap to a new case, the workload is immediately a lot higher than just swapping out other internal parts, because you gotta take everything out for a case swap. Whereas popping in like just a cooler, or like just a graphics card, just some more RAM, you're just replacing a Lego piece. Not looking forward to redoing all the cabling. Right, how are we looking? Unreadable without the rest of the hair. That's just lines. I'm also realizing how much of the heavy lifting the color does in terms of readability on the hair. The streaming also allows my small monkey brain to actually force myself to make progress on a lot of these things. So honestly, I want to do a lot more art, creative projects, things like that. But if I were to just try to sit down and do this, I'd probably get like a half hour in and say, oh, that's good enough. I'm checking out for now. Progress is progress. But sitting down with a stream schedule and sticking to it really forces me to actually make some of the progress that I want to make on these things. It adds like an outside commitment to stick to. I feel like the moment there's a third person involved, the moment there's, well, not a third person, a third party involved, and there's some other reason for me to adhere to a schedule, I stick to it pretty well. But on my own, yeah, no shot. I'm also not sure if I need to tweak my PNG tuber settings more so that his mouth opens more consistently when I talk, or if it's just an issue with me not talking loud enough. Probably a bit of column A, a bit of column B, since it is just voice activated, but a lot of it'll be easier once I have the full model set up, because then I can actually have it track my mouth and open when I open and vice versa, and not just be based on certain levels of audio. So that whole process is still weeks out from being finished. As much as I'd love to pay someone to be able to do it faster and better for me, one, I don't have the money for it. Like, a lot of rigging and drawing is expensive, and rightfully so. Artists deserve to be paid well, and I definitely don't want to skimp artists on their service as one. Because you're not just paying for the art, you're paying for the years of practice they've put in into mastering their craft. So like $500 for like a fully rigged custom model, that's fair. If I had the disposable income for it, I'd be more than happy to support the people charging that, or even charging lower amounts for it. I think it'd be really cool to be able to be one of those guys that just... coffee. Black, cream and sugar, what you rockin'? Splash of alcohol? Black, solid. Just like that movie, Airplane. Smile. That's fair. Like, it's also less expensive to not add stuff to it. And again, not that I would really know, I don't really drink coffee. Like, the most coffee consumption I get is if, like, I'm on a longer drive or something and I just grab like a frappuccino or something from insert local donut shop here. Akvavit, a Norwegian booze. Taste of caraway. Okay. Never heard of Avit. Don't know what caraway is. Oh yeah, I could go nuts on it. I could probably eat like 4 right now. If I buy a dozen donuts, I could probably make them go away by the end of the day. Aqua V. Okay, then what's that first V doing in here? Where's my proper American spelling and pronunciation? Norway. Yeah, no, I saw the Norway. I will acknowledge it, but that doesn't mean I have to respect it. V for yet. Isn't Aquavit like a water brand as well, when it's spelled differently or something like that? Or am I thinking of something entirely different? I don't know, usually it's my job to Google these things, but I'm not doing that on stream. I'm not gonna stop my drawing process. A liquid with chickpeas? How does that... Is it just like chickpea water? Like, is it like the, like when you get a can of beans? Is it just like the bean water? But with chickpeas? Aquafaba? Is that the name of the chickpea water, or is that the water? Starchy and quite useful. Like cooking, or do people just sip that bad boy? Is chickpea juice like a proper sipper drink? Okay, cooking. Valid question on my part. I feel like people drink some weird stuff. I mean, not weird for them. Weird for a filthy American that doesn't know a whole lot about weird, obscure foods and has not been out of the country. There is an aniseed flavor. That's the, is that the star one? I feel like I've heard of that. Yeah, or is that different? I feel like I'm playing a really awful game of like word association. Same thing. Okay. I'll take that as a W on my part. Okay, licorice flavor. I know that one. How are we looking on hair? It's getting there. The dislike wasn't too bad in the aqua beat. Yeah, I feel like licorice on its own is a very hit or miss. Hey, thank you for the follow, Azaraki. Priest, he ate it. Am I right or am I right? I'm probably just gonna have to redraw a lot of this hair from scratch. I don't know how well these lines are working when I'm just tracing it like that. They look very wonky. Big schminken. We're just gonna run it for now. This will give me like the base of it. And then I'll go back over again, smooth out a lot of it, make it look nice. I'm gonna have to pretend to be a real artist. Can't really stay along behind. Hey, hear it all, and that's the part that counts. Appreciate it, boss man. Viewer count up to 3, baby. I'm pretty much famous now. Twitch is gonna partner me. I'm gonna get like a gamer sub sponsorship. They're gonna ask me to make a cup. Gonna get a War Thunder sponsorship too. Raid Shadow Legends. Like 8 different VPNs are gonna sponsor me. Probably a couple of those like food delivery boxes. Yeah, VTuber Manscaped ad. I'll have like an added model that has facial hair. That way I can then remove that. I mean, I can't do the other end. But I think Manscaped is like facial shavers too, right? Not just the straight manscaping. Facial, yeah. I mean, there's the VTubers who stream on the other platforms. I mean, if that's the route I gotta go, that's the route I gotta go. Shaver is a shaver. I'll just like 3D track a shaver. Like a 3D model. Sponsored chatter. Yeah, I don't know. I just used some Philips one from Walmart as like my beard trimmer and shaver. Because it works. Yeah, there's an extension that will link your Dota match history and show that. If I'm going to be streaming Dota every once in a while, I might as well just throw my whole match history in there, let people judge my item builds, and flame me for my hero picks. We'll see if that stays long term or not. But Fox also pointed out. The when played part of it says you're talking. Oh, like it says I'm doing the matches now? Or like just did all of them? Oh. Yeah, I mean, you know, I'm always on that grind. What you don't see on my second monitor is a full Dota game right now. Like, yeah, I'm drawing at the same time, I'm just insanely good at micro. But rather than microing a hero in several units, I'm microing my Dota and also my Photoshop. I don't know, probably just some issue with how the extension grabs the data. I think it might go off a Dota buff. I don't know where it grabs it from. No, I'm a micro god. I'm not AFK at Fountain. I'm just disconnected and using the 5 minutes I have to do some drawing. I go back and move a bit, and then go back up. Strats. That's right. Don't even know the name of the extension I'm using. That's not a sponsor I'm getting. If they even sponsor things. Hold on, guys. Gotta pause. I'm currently drawing. I was first blood on initial bounty rune, so now I am a jungle legion commander. I've got a macro running that just auto salves me every 60 seconds. That I can keep AFK farming this one jungle camp. But I've also skilled press the attack first. And I'm out of mana after casting it twice, rather than skilling the counterattack for the extra junk of lifesteal. Or the against all odds, or whatever the heck that ability name is called. Clear the camps quickly. Farming as inefficiently as humanly possible. There is zero chance of me farming efficiently in this Dota lane right now. Whoa, 4 viewers. I'm pogging. I'm going big sponsor. They're gonna invite me to the New Year's New Year's Eve drop next. For this amount of viewers. I'm gonna start hosting game shows. They actually tried to send me a last minute invite to TwitchCon. I said I couldn't go. I was too busy because I was had a scheduled appearance on Jimmy Kimmel. I can't imagine a YouTuber or streamer going on that type of show. And everyone that watches those types of shows being so confused. That like, oh, this person just plays video games and they're watched by thousands of people simultaneously. How's that looking? That's not looking bad. That's getting there. Oh. Can't forget the earring. The bell. One of my motifs. Yeah, that bell right now is crusty. Straight out of the PNG factory. Worst circle you've seen in your life inbound. Jesus Christ. Come on. Too big. New strat. I biffed it. Hold on. I do that. I do eraser tool. Keep the mouse in the same spot. Easy. Is that line too big? Maybe. Will I fix it? Maybe. Eraser too big. Also want the bell coming up from the bottom rather than the sides, I think. I think that's how they attach, like the end of a jester hat, is like, it'll be attached at one end, bell comes up from the other side, rather than from the sides like this, because it has to wrap all the way around. That goes too far up. There we go. I think that works. Biffing up all my windows while I'm at it. Open your mouth, you darn PNG tuber, please! Gotta figure out what's causing some level of bass interference in my microphone, because it means if I put it too low, then my guy's just always got his mouth open. But I think it just might be something... Maybe my power supply's bad. Possible. Or just standard interference from the cabling in my PC. But that's what's known as a not right now problem. I know the body. Hide all of that. Lowercase, so I know which one's the bad one. But I don't need the two. Easy. Hope the idiot forgets to lower opacity so he can see what he's drawing. And then forgets to switch layer back immediately. Hey, welcome to the stream, whoever is popping in. Viewer number goes up. Brain gets a small amount of serotonin. We ball. Sponsors rolling in. And immediately back down to 3. I gotta not look at the number so much. It's just gonna mess with my head. Every new person that joins is gonna be like, oh god, I've been noticed. And they'll panic and leave. I ain't trying to push that kind of pressure on anyone. Also, I ain't trying to biff this line so much, Jesus. Come on. Don't perceive me. Well then don't chat and you won't be perceived. Also love the little first time chatter window that pops up on my end. Also by the wind. I'm gonna just give this guy like a big honkin' Adam's apple. Like just comically large. Like I've got a medical condition kind of Adam's apple. Yeah. That boy's hidden by the chin, it's so big. Like if they have to ever go in for one of those trachea tubes, there's gonna be a lot more for them to fight through. Although I know they probably don't go in through the goddamn Adam's apple. But I'm also not a doctor. Hey, first Photoshop crash. Big fan. Surprised I took this long though. It crashes a lot sooner. Also don't know what caused it to crash. Maybe I'm just too good at drawing and it has to nerf me a little bit. Oh no, Photoshop is doxing my first name! Guys, delete the VOD! I need a 30-minute delay on every stream so that I can actively bleep things out if needed. I need the shirt symmetrical? I don't remember. Oh no, I need the bodies. Yeah, dang it. Body's gotta be symmetrical too. Oh, I gotta... That's not my eraser. The human body is known for being perfectly symmetrical, and I need to replicate that in all my art. Every organ on the left side of your body is also on the right side. They say the heart's on the left side, but that's just so that when people try to kill you, they don't know that you also have a right side heart that they need to shoot. It's really just like a propaganda safety measure. Same goes for like the liver, the spleen, whenever they take out your appendix, they only make one incision to kind of keep it hidden. That just means the doctor has to really like reach. Like they have like small doctors on staff with thin arms, so they can get like forearm deep to reach your other appendix. Get rid of that. Me when I spread nah, I would never spread misinformation. Also realizing this neck doesn't need to be symmetrical, so I just kind of did stuff that didn't need it to be done. I only spread the truest of information. I would never lie, because lying is mean and not cool. They teach you in clown college that all jokes must be 100% true. If you're telling like a chicken crosses the road joke, you have to have seen a chicken cross the road. Otherwise, it's incredibly uncool and gets you shunned. Symmetry. Does this need symmetry? I'm forgetting what parts of this need symmetry, or what parts were drawn with symmetry. Okay, this wasn't, so that's fine. I think it's just like the arms that are going to be symmetrical. Let me come back to that and do me arms with my properly located shoulders that line up with the clavicle. They are perfectly in their sockets. But this is also now my chance to have, like, gibbon arms. I want my hands to touch my shins when I'm standing straight up. Mostly just so that I can make really long balloon animals without having to shuffle them around so much. Not that I'm still in the balloon animal game. I'm very rusty on my balloon animal skills. I've not kept up with them due to not going into the field of kids' birthday parties, but it's something to keep brushed up on. You never know, as any type of clown, when someone's going to request giraffe. And you got to be ready to give them a giraffe. No one wants to be the clown that disappoints. Like, unless that's your shtick, which there are clowns whose job is to disappoint, to be the butt of the jokes, but for most clowns, the goal is not to disappoint. Watching one of those clowns. Alright, yeah, sure. It's a little bit of my shtick. I'm not aiming to be a full disappointment clown, but, like, when you work in the corporate world, you aim to emulate at least a little bit. You need to be relatable sometimes when you're trying to mingle with people as a corporate clown. And so being able to work some disappointment, some flaws, and not flaws as in, oh, my clown shoes are different sizes, or it's more like, oh, my clown car is horribly gas inefficient, and I had to get the tires rotated and the oil changed, but the mechanic overcharged me. Also might have to do something about these hands down the line. I don't know if I'm going to want to keep them in this pose or not, but I'm definitely not going to rig any movement into them either way, because I can barely draw hands, let alone make them move. If anything, the whole model would move realistically. But then for my hands, I'd go with the, like, old rubber hose animation that they did in, like, really old cartoons, where joints are a suggestion. Practiced so many balloon animals, I became one. I feel like this finger curves too much. But the theme of today is, I'll fix that later. Oh yeah, that's a real messed up pinky. This guy broke it as a kid and never got it set properly. Any anatomy flaw, I'm just going to fabricate backstory to explain it, rather than improve my art. One arm longer than the other, a growth plate issue. Feet too small, maybe he had a thyroid issue, or his mom made him wear really small shoes all the time. Pupils different sizes, it's colored contacts. A stylistic choice. I will explain away any and all art mistakes with backstory and excuses, rather than growing and improving myself as an artist and as a creator. And when all else fails, your opinion is wrong. This is good art. You wouldn't know good art if it hit you in the face. Hundreds of years from now, I will be the next Picasso, but for VTubers. They'll be like, wow, this guy made some truly revolutionary art. Why is that not giving me full opacity? What is going on here? I hit a button I didn't want to hit. Then. Okay, cool. I lowered opacity somehow with a hotkey. That is why. This is a guy that knows how to use Photoshop. I don't like those arm locations. We're going to get rid of that. They're fine on the original, but I don't think they're anatomically correct, or I don't know if they are. But maybe I'll just, like, massive bulging forearms. Like this guy rips those shake weights. He's got those little, like, grippers, grip trainers. Goes nuts on those things every day. If he's not actively clowning or selling, he's going nuts on a gripper set to 100 pounds. Doesn't drink water, he exclusively drinks protein shakes. Except rather than mixing the protein powder with water or milk, he mixes it with a pre-made protein shake. So it's kind of just like a triple dose protein shake. The shirt may look baggy, but it's just made to look that way. It's actually extremely rigid, and it holds in his massive rippling muscles. Why does that not line up? I just need to, like, this. That's a little better. I think I just don't need symmetry anymore. Oh, also, congrats, Fox and Ass Kicking in. Y'all are mods now. Enjoy. Don't abuse the privileges. I'll be sending out schedules within the next coming weeks. How do I ban the stream? I don't think you can ban me, I I don't know all the privileges mods have, but I'm pretty sure you can like change the stream title and stuff like that. Like you could change me to like the hot tubs category, I think. Or artifact. I don't exactly know all the powers that mods have. But I do know that you get a like a neat little like moderator screen. And you can like see people's like chat history. And like mod actions, mod comments. I don't know, man. Do I look like a professional? I'll have to see if this audio separation stuff actually works as intended. Because ideally, I have it set so that anything I'm listening to on Spotify that you guys can hear on stream won't record to the VOD. I know it doesn't record to the recording I make on my computer, which is the one that'll get uploaded to YouTube. Theoretically, it will also be left out of the Twitch VOD to avoid copyright. But that's a big theoretically. I don't know if it's actually going to work that way, or if I'm going to have to tweak some more stuff, or figure out a new solution. I also thought about putting on like a Spotify Now Playing thing on screen, but I don't want... I feel like that would take away from the experience of anyone that watches the VOD afterwards that doesn't have the music in there for the sake of copyright. To be like, oh, this song was playing at this time, but I can't actually hear it. But I might look into getting a bot that puts it in chat if people request it. Do I know how to do that? No. Do I know it's possible? I think so. Oh, hell yeah, this is what peak VTuber models look like. I'm gonna be the next gen of VTubers that's just line art, entirely overlapping. It is gonna look wildly inconsistent. It is going to move in an entirely inhuman way. Would be kind of neat though, actually. I know there's a VTuber who their whole shtick is that like they're on a piece of lined paper. Like their art style is lined paper. Like kind of folded over itself, drawn onto. Think like if Doodle Bob was an anime girl VTuber. Which I know makes it sound dumb, but they actually did it really well, and it's kind of cool. Be neat if I was good enough at art and was able to come up with that kind of unique design, unique art style. Which I do think it'd be cool to make like a claymation VTuber. Like thinking like a Wallace and Gromit type thing. That's set up to move as a VTuber. Whether that means 3D modeled to do so, or whether that means real clay model with hundreds of photographs of different angles. Yeah, I think it would be really cool, but also wildly difficult to set up, because it either means you have a really strong grasp of 3D modeling software and of claymation to be able to do it in 3D modeling where it looks real, or you somehow are really good at claymation itself or have incredible amounts of patience to do it for real and then somehow get it set up with like a 3D modeling or like a VTuber software, which I don't even know how you would rig a series of photos of a claymation thing as a VTuber. I think it'd be neat. Even just straight up make Wallace and Gromit as a VTuber, and they just do like cheese reviews. Well, the question then becomes, do you do just the cheese reviews, or do you go into like the wine pairings as well? Do you get really deep into that market? Or are you just going to be like cheese central? You could also then delve into like the cooking experimentation to see what you can do with these cheeses. I know that's also a market that's kind of been explored. Like, there was a guy on Reddit a while ago who worked at like a cheese shop, and he basically would try making a grilled cheese with every type of cheese that they had there, and assessing how well it grilled cheesed. Cheese, crackers, nuts, chutney, wine. It was like a charcuterie board stream. Get a little salami in there. Charcuterie board recipes, reviewing pre-made charcuterie boards from stores. Yes, but okay, yeah, cheese board without those charcuterie. I don't even know what charcuterie means. I just know that those are the ones you get from like the grocery store that have the cheese meat crackers, except just cheese. At that point, are you just delving into how well the combinations of cheeses on that board pair with each other? How well it makes a single cohesive cheese board? Charcuterie is about to be... Okay, more you know. The cheese is the secondary in a charcuterie board. Whereas in a cheese board, it's about the cheese. Which, like, how much thought goes into a cheese board? Are they, like, planning out, you eat these cheeses in a certain order, and it tells a story? Like, this first cheese is kind of bitter and an acquired taste to represent the hero's darkened past. You next, eat this much brighter cheese. This is the hero's wife, the one who holds it together, keeps him palatable. But there's not much of this other wife cheese left, because there's only so much she can do. And once she dies by a tragic end, the hero is left alone to try to find a new match with these other cheeses. He then goes on an adventure through these different country cheeses. until he finds another dark and almost unpalatable cheese, but with the two of them together make a beautiful combination. Depends. On my trip, I had a chef-prepared cheese boards. He offered a selection of complimentary, mostly local cheeses. He'd introduce each cheese and talk about what makes that cheese special. That sounds like a fantastic job. God dang it, these lines have different weights. Heck. These thinner. Talk to the actual answer. Well, I mean, yeah. My job's not here to give facts and history lessons. My job here, I guess my hobby, I'm not getting paid for this, is to entertain. Like, put a font of answers, some may be made up. So just like normal Google. I mean, who are we to fact check him? If we don't know any better, then sure. He could have made all this up. Could have never actually gone on any kind of trip. He could have just photoshopped everything. He could be like a Middle Eastern oil tycoon that's fooling us all, and this is just his way to stay grounded, is to pretend to be an entirely different person. Pretend to not be able to afford games to cover oil wealth. Exactly, exactly. You need to keep up the bit at all times, otherwise you'll have to pay more in taxes. Fit in with the proletariat. You're an inside agent. You're finding out how to better oppress us. You're an inside agent to prevent the working class from rising up. Oh look, these workers think they can break out of their economic shackles when I grant an intoxicating innocence. Oh look, this little worker makes his own art instead of paying someone millions of dollars to make a much better oil painting. Look at this little worker fucking up the same lines repeatedly. On his 12-year-old drawing tablet. That's better. I think that needs to kind of loop down there. I think I'm gonna have to be a real artist and look up reference images. Cringe. The bells. Yeah, SAS matches. We're good. We ball. On hand to give me a good curve that matches. Oh, what is that? What is that? My human motor skills are failing me. Oh. There it is. God Gamer, but for drawing. And it only took like 6 tries. I had to do it 5 more times. Okay. Alright, alright. Hold on, hold on. I'm locked in. I'm not. I'm not. We do that one last. Yeah, locked back in, locked back in. These 2 pedals are bad. And this one, still bad. This one's very uneven, very lopsided. He will get cold. Maybe I'll just do 4 pedals. And the story will be that I did the She Loves Me Not, She Loves Me thing. If I started on She Loves Me Not, got sad when I took off the first one, and then stopped doing it. Perfect circle every time. Perfect star every time. Imperfect star every time, and I'm now realizing it looks bad. Hold on, I need to center my angle on it. Ignore the old reference. That's bad. I think that's it. I think it's good enough. Clown outfits are not meant to be perfect. Imperfections are what make us human. But the imperfections look bad. Bottom legs keep end up being too small. That's the one. Yeah, that's the one. Perfect star. Oh, the legs and pants. The belt. So is those lines? Are those too thick? No, I think those are fine. Remembering I have shortcuts on the tablet I can use. But I'm way too used to keeping a hand on the keyboard and doing it that way. So that might just be how I continue to do it. Second Photoshop crash of the day. We ball. Thanks Photoshop for zooming directly in on the crotch. As long as I have my ball layer hidden at all times, I'm good. The first thing I actually drew on this model was very, like, detailed abs in an underbody. I made sure that was extremely high resolution because I felt like having proper anatomy was key to drawing the rest of the model well. But I keep that layer hidden at all times. You'll swap out the belt buckle for one of those like massive, really thick cowboy belt buckles, like a bull head on it. Maybe one that like doubles as a bottle opener. Not in the way that like you can probably use a normal belt buckle as a bottle opener, but one that very clearly has a bottle opener built into it. Oh, Photoshop crash? Alright, not a full crash, we ball. I have to like look up photos of belt buckles. Like I've realized I've looked up 0 reference images in doing a lot of this. And I'm not realizing, like, my belt buckle's a square here. But there's supposed to be more there that makes the belt buckle. For now, I'm just gonna say it's magnets. Because as a clown, I learned basic magic tricks, and when in doubt, it's all magnets. All magic is just magnetism. That includes card tricks. They're not actual playing cards, it's just decks of magnets. Yeah, pick a card thing, and knowing which card is yours, they just give you a card that has a second magnet. And they have a magnet in their hand. They can feel which card is more drawn to their hand, and then it just magically sticks to it. This will all be featured in my upcoming book that reveals the entire magic industry. Unveils every single magic trick, how it all was ever done, and how all of it is magnetism. Including, like, David Blaine sitting in an ice block for, like, 57 hours. That's magnets. It was through a series of magnets that he was able to get food and water and also not be in the ice block. There's a muscle there, right? A line there. Looking at my own forearms as if I can gauge any information from them. As if I have nearly enough muscle definition to gauge what's going on here. What I can gauge is that this is wrong. I think that's better? Question mark? Well, those can go for now. I can go for now, maybe replace that with that, and just throw like some shit in like that, and some shit here, and some shit here. This is all called details, and makes everything look more real. That may look like I word the word sus, but it's just details. Forearms are by far the most defined muscle, and it's weird. I mean, when people be grabbing things, like it's almost, I feel like it's almost natural for forearms to be so defined just because of how much we do with our hands. And like, I at least know that the muscles in the fingers aren't in the fingers, it goes into like your wrist. I've seen those videos of like, where they're looking at like dissected hands, and they just pull a tendon in the wrist, and it makes the fingers move. Like, I'm sure if we were like an elbow-based society, then like the chest and shoulders and back muscles would be much more defined than the forearms. I've done that in person, odd experience. Yeah, most people haven't. Most people have not had the chance to pull the tendons and muscles in an exposed arm. I'd imagine even just being able to see any of that stuff in person is wild. That has something showing that shouldn't be showing. This. You need to go into the other folder. I'm supposed to be here. I feel like without the eyeliner filled in, it kind of looks like Zuko. With like his eye scars, except he's got two of them and they're smaller and very symmetrical. Let's go in here and I made them too thick. My fill tool failed me. Oh, my bucket is too intolerant. Intolerance is not tolerated in this stream. Why is it not filling more? Why is it getting stuck? What is it getting stuck on? There's nothing there to block it. But if I do 100 tolerance, it will just go over everything. No, what? What do you do? I don't understand what my bucket tool is doing. We're just going to do that and then fill in the rest by hand. I feel like I need this eyeliner and eyeshadow filled in to better understand what I'm currently working with. Gotta show up to my day job with this exact same look. Including like the bell earrings that jingle whenever I do anything. Photoshop? Oh. Are we good, Photoshop? We're good. Not sure what's causing my Photoshop to crash. Maybe it doesn't like the resolution. Maybe it doesn't like me. But we're just gonna keep rolling with it. We're gonna let it rumble. We're gonna let it ride. I've thought about switching to like Clip Studio Paint or any of those other drawing programs. But I know Photoshop. And my muscle memory and memory of how to do everything would be absolutely goddamn ruined if I tried to switch programs. Same goes for video editing. I've thought about using like a different free program, but Premiere is what I know. And so I'm unfortunately gonna have to pay for a subscription of Premiere. I don't think they allow the one-time payment models anymore, because Adobe is a little predatory with their practices. But when they make good programs, they make good programs. I should have had this on symmetry this whole time, and I would have been coloring in the other eye as well. Heck. These eye dots don't line up. They must go. That's better. Rotate. There we go. Keep seeing that view number tick up to like 4 and thinking, oh wow, someone new. And then it inevitably goes back down to 3 after like 8 seconds when they realize, wow, this guy's not that great at drawing. This is his first stream. I expected to see like some cool VTuber shit. I expected to see this guy doing like advanced 3D modeling and doing some insane art. Not some dude coloring in black mascara and eyeshadow for 12 minutes as his Photoshop crashes again. The belt buckle's not centered. The shirt line's not centered. My guy's gonna get kicked out of the office potluck for an uncentered belt buckle. Not gonna be able to get any clients if he can't even keep his shirt lined up. Dress code is business casual, but not that casual. Dress code is business casual, not I just googled what business casual is. Polo shirts, my cheat way meaning I dress code shorter form. Oh yeah, I feel like that's what I've been doing a lot as well. It's just polo shirts. I'll put on a pair of khaki shorts as well, and then just look like a dad. I had symmetry on when I didn't want it on. No! Wait a minute. Symmetry on shouldn't mess with the other eye. Why is it messing with the other eye? Why? I thought my goddamn eyes were symmetrical. What the fuck? How about now? They just need to be shifted a little bit. Why has this happened to me? What happened to my beautiful, beautiful symmetry? That's still symmetrical. Those are still symmetrical. Why are those not? But the eye lines, are those symmetrical? Yeah. Did that fix the eyes? No. Almost. Okay, now they're fixed, but what happened to lose that symmetry? You know, I usually also rely on polo shirts. Either that, or I have like a single, like really nice black dress shirt that fits well that I had used at my wedding. I'll just put that on a pair of black pants, and then I'll look like a waiter, but it works. Gotta make sure if I go to a restaurant, I don't like get up to go to the bathroom, or someone might just start handing me tables to bus. Yeah, I feel like it's either you have to dress like you work there, or if you're too confident. People see either of those, and they're gonna say, "You work here. You're going to help me now, or I'm gonna get you fired for a place you don't work." Or I'm just gonna say, "Okay, sorry, my apologies," and no consequences will happen. That's better. Go in here. Something's still off about the eyes. There's like too much in here. I think on this. That fix it. A few more problem areas. Right here is wrong. Right here is a bit too much. There's like one other spot that wasn't symmetrical. These still aren't. Now what are we working with? Wait a minute. I'm an idiot. Strong arm and fix the symmetry. There be a copy. Take this. Lower opacity. You. Flip. We go in here. You back up. Symmetry back off. Purge. Now we should be symmetrical again. Oh yeah, beautiful. Hair's gonna be a doozy though. And then all my coloring back in. Probably reuse most of the shading though. At least it's easy to fix because it's just blending in colors. Cranking the hardness down on my brush for soft edges. And then just going at it. That. What is going on? I don't know what you're from, but you need to go away. You're overlapping a little too much. Clavicle back in there. But this time with more definition. Maybe get a little cleavage going on in there. Get a little I don't even know if that's the right spot. I still gotta fix where that shirt splits. Maybe I can just even skip the legs and just keep it hidden that I'm actually a ghost. Like Casper style. Like. But then maybe I've got a genie lamp. The worst genie lamp you've ever seen. Dead is a form of retired. It might be the retirement plan of most Americans currently. But it is certainly an option. Can I get my guideline back, actually? I know I have a center guideline. It's definitely mine. Yeah, like maybe I'll just plan on dying at like 65. Like I'll save up the retirement money, but at 64 I'll quit my job. I'll blow all the money in a year because that's all I'll have saved up is enough to last for a year without a job. And I'll just die at 65 and then I'm good. Yeah, there's my center line. pro strats. We're just gonna do these. And it's gonna fuck up the shirt a little bit. But now we're gonna go back and fix it. That is wrong. And on that side means that goes over, that goes under. Still a nice deep V for sex appeal. Maybe throw in a couple of the cartoony chest hairs. Oh yeah. Now we're talking. Now we're talking. That's a design. Photoshop got mad. It did not like that. Forgot I bought the kids version of Photoshop that actually tracks your audio. And if it, and like what's on your screen, if it detects you are drawing anything that is not extremely kid friendly, that's not PG, it crashes the app. My drawing tablet is actually one of those leap pads. If I click a wrong button, it starts teaching me shapes. It's fine. That's a 3D line. Maybe I could even just give him like the... Maybe even the, hold on. Maybe he's rocking one of these. Oh yeah, that's the cut. And like a big pair of aviators. There's a clown that rides a really loud, obnoxious motor. He doesn't have a motorcycle. There's a clown who's mowing his lawn at 6 a.m. on a Tuesday morning. Because he's been mowing his lawn at that time every day for the past 30 years, and he will never change it. The neighbors keep making complaints, but he's not part of an HOA, nor does his neighborhood have any sort of noise ordinance that takes place at 6 a.m. It actually lifts the noise ordinance at 5:30 a.m., so he is clear to mow at 6 a.m. And legally, there's nothing they can do to stop him from mowing at 6 a.m. He's got a, one of those big zero turns. Cross-cuts his lawn, does it diagonally, checkerboard pattern. Then he even found a way to use his weed whacker to put like a little star in the center of his lawn. For the sake of following the clown theme. Ooh, yeah, oh, this head shading's not gonna fly if I try to keep it. Doesn't reach the edges, it goes over. The softness on it kind of works, though. It's still... I might be able to keep this. Especially if I go in here and just fill in these edges. Might actually be saving myself some work here. Hold on. I'm cooking. Call me a college kid in a local Mexican restaurant the way I be cooking. Probably could have masked that layer so I don't have to do all this extra cleanup afterwards. But that is a prime skill issue. And is reminiscent of pen and paper. Like the most practice I've had shading is doing stuff on with like a pencil on paper and then just erasing all the extra smudges around to give the edge back. Because when you're drawing real, or at least in the classes where they're trying to teach us realism, it's like, oh, you don't want actual outlines, you want lines to be created by changes in value. But I can just draw in an anime style, and my art teachers can't tell me no, because it's a stylistic choice. And I don't need lines to be created by differences in value. My lines can be created by lines. I think that shading is pretty much entirely usable. If I get my brush to cooperate. My symmetry! Come back. Hey, with that, it is 12:30, so maybe the end of the stream today, boys, but thanks to everyone who showed up. Appreciate you guys sticking it out, bumping my viewership numbers up to a consistent 3. Appreciate you, gentlemen. And I'll see you tomorrow for your tomorrow stream.